this episode of Tradfest, the Fingal sessions were over the moon to be joined by Stephen-Rea, Louise and Michelle Mulcahy, Neil Martin, and Farah Elle. Stephen and Louise and Michelle, you've just come from performing at Tradfest. Tell us what have you been doing? What was going on?
I was reading some poetry and they were playing some magnificent tunes, along with Neil Martin, and a very wonderful audience who appreciated what they were getting.
It was a really special afternoon. We were in Malahide Castle. Really spectacular setting, and the audience made it even more special. And I think there was a whole host of material. The whole idea behind Saiocht was mastery and skill, and we really delved into, I suppose, the annals of poetry and Irish traditional music, drawing from those great masters, both past and present.
Yeah, amazing. Sounds like a remarkable collaboration.
It was very exciting, really, and I think the show evolves and changes all the time. So each time we come together, there's a whole array of different material, and I think that's something really unique for the show as well.
And Stephen, is there something in particular that the show was about? Or?
We actually start with a poem by Moya canon, which really points to the origins of indigenous music, you know, and how it has survived by the incredible courage of the people who made the music and went all around the world and lost everything but the music. And but it's full of, as we know, it's full of immense joy and pleasure and great sadness too.
The poem you're going to do for us is dedicated to beloved musicians.
Yeah, this is called Carrying the Songs. And there's an epigraph at the beginning which says, "Those in power write the history, those who suffer write the songs," by Frank Hart. So it was always those with little else to carry who carried the songs to Babylon, to the Mississippi. Some of these last possessed less than nothing, did not own their own bodies, yet 3 centuries later, deep rhythms from Africa, stowed in their hearts, their bones, carry the world's songs. For those who left my county, girls from Downings and the Rosses who followed, herring boats north to Shetland, gutting the seas silver as they went, or boys from Ranafast and Hornhead who took the Derry boat, who slept over a rope in a bothy, songs were their soul's currency, the pure metal of their hearts, to be exchanged for other gold, other songs which rang out true and bright when flung down upon the deal boards of their days.
Stephen, that poem was dedicated to Maighread and Triona and Dhomhnaill.
Yeah, well, of course, they come from a family that goes way back, way in Donegal music, and with their aunts, and it's just so incredible what they possess.
Yeah.
just by existing. And so it's appropriate that they were getting it. Moya is from Donegal herself. And, but what I love about it is the way she broadens it to take in the whole world of music, you know, jazz, African rhythms, you know, it feels, it makes you feel connected to all the important things about music, you know.
The sense that music comes from the land, you know, and no matter where that land is, there's a sort of a commonality in that, the music that comes from the land, like, be it African, be it Irish, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, American popular music has just been lifted from black people and Irish people. But we've got it back.
yeah, we've got it. Neil Martin, from playing gigs to writing operas and writing tunes, Saiocht, and you're a busy man. How did you get connected with all of this?
Well, Stephen and I have been working together for, in fact, 35 years. This year was the first time we shared a stage together. Yeah, Mulcahy's weren't even born then. And so we've been doing a lot of stuff. You know, we Field Day Theatre Company, of which Stephen was a founding director, and we've worked a lot Field Day and out in New York with Sam Shepard play and lots of stuff here as well. So there's a lot of stuff over the years. So we kind of have a way of going between us. And it was my first time, the first Saiocht, to work with Louise and Michelle. So it's been a very happy journey.
Yeah, marrying music with words in a different way to conventional songs in a sense.
I often think of Irish poetry connected very much to the European troubadours of the Middle Ages, where there was very little difference between the poet and the musician. They were kind of all the one. You sing poetry really, and you speak poetry out loud, and all of these things are interconnected. And I like to think that it was thus here on this island as well. I'm kind of sure it was, really.
And the tunes you just played there?
We played the Hag at the Churn. So I suppose with like any traditional music, tunes are passed on from generation to generation, and I suppose each generation breathes new life into the tunes. And I think when you collaborate in this format, a certain new excitement presents. And I think every time you play a tune, I think you'll agree with that, Neil, with new people or in a different environment, it comes alive.
And it's amazing to hear it kind of in the context of a poem that is about the O'Donnells, or there's a reference to the O'Donnells, because obviously the Bothy Band's version of that tune is one that I have travelled many, many miles to, you know.
Absolutely, it's a really rhythmical tune.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important connection with poetry and music, is that rhythm and the presence of rhythm. And I suppose with tunes and poetry, they can both marry the emotional intensity of each other. And I think that's something really special that we've worked on throughout the Saiocht performances.
And I think that's a very, very ancient tune. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the origins of that were not in a clan march going back to the 16th, 17th century. I'd be pretty sure it would have, you know, it's so rooted, it's so earthed in the tradition and in the piping tradition.
Stephen, this next poem is from a dear and departed friend of yours.
Well, all the friends are departed these days, but yeah, poor old Derek, you know, he's truly emerging as one of our greatest poets, and he never promoted himself, ever, and he just kept at it, and it's coming home now. You can see it as the way he goes from personal position to seeing the whole world. It's almost unique, you know. I love his work, yeah.
And so the piece you're going to read for us now?
Well, it's called Washing Up. He goes from the simple action of washing up dishes to seeing the world, you know. And he starts with an epigraph. The miracle is not to fly in the air or to walk on water, but to stand on the earth. It's a Chinese proverb. You do the gastronomy. I wash up and rinse under a running tap. I like it on the whole. It gives me time to think about our lives here at the edge. No, at the eye of real existence. Wind and sky working together to define the limits of our own domain. There's so much washing up to do on the degraded planet now. oceans and forests, oily sands, our filthy lucrative demands on the resources of this place and soon perhaps of outer space. Beyond the window, a bright star notes my performance from afar, twinkling to find a widower engaged on a domestic chore, a relic of pre-digital times, fond of anachronistic rhymes, in flight from the new politique of induced squalor and high tech, washed up on a deserted beach, grumpy, contrarian, out of reach. I stand here at the kitchen sink, watching the soap bubbles blink. No, here at the sink I stand, with a wet drying cloth in hand, dreaming not of that caricature, an automatic dishwasher, but of an even simpler life, untouched by electronic stuff. The best of miracles rely on the old known reality. Pines where the wood pigeons live, wild garlic growing in the drive, the nightly fun of wiping dry dishes and bowls and cutlery. Washing up here along this shore, us urban exiles can be sure of a real world where fauna thrive and precious habitats survive, where swifts back from Rwanda find unchanged the nests they left behind, and hungry gulls remain content with their own fishy nourishment. However much we wish her ill, nature as such is hard to kill. The more insistent our demands, the more severely she responds by turning up the heat again, so we too register the pain. Golfers in helicopters fly here, dropping daily from the sky, and surfers surf who might prefer not to be here but in Hawaii. But these are just technology playing its games with sea and air. Knowing our own place, I infer from my perspective as plongeur in the whole turbulent shebang, the universe and everything is the one miracle that wins out over a rake of sins. It might be going too far to say life is worth living anyway for the naive and unprepared, despite the violence endured or the despondent migrant crowds out on the road like drifting clouds. What do we know in our resigned enclosure, sheltered from the wind? But don't we cherish all the same our long-sought equilibrium? I stack the plates with diligence, glad to have been of use for once, and step outside to watch the sea washing up in the estuary.
Thanks, Stephen. That's amazing.
It's an amazing poem, isn't it?
Poem.
Yeah.
Got to clean up the earth. You know.
I know. Derek is a man who suffered terribly, personally, and more than the other poets that we all know of. And I suppose his way to get out of that was to face the big issues that faced everybody in the world. Mm-hmm. That's what makes it so powerful.
Louise, how did you come to be involved in Saiocht?
It was a really, I suppose, inspiring journey over the last while, and it came about a television programme about 12 months ago, maybe a year and a half ago, as part of TempleBar Tradfest on the estuary, and we filmed a slow air and Stephen read a Mahon poem as well.
Trump Time, wasn't it?
Trump Time, that's it. And from there, I've been involved since and loving every minute and really enjoying performing with Michelle and Neil and Steve.
You've got some tunes for us? We have. We'd love to play a selection of jigs for you on the flat set of uilleann pipes in B, and Michelle has an accordion as well. And I suppose we were chatting about legacies. You mentioned the Bothy Band, and I suppose one part of the tradition which is so important is musical families. And we come from a musical family. Our father, Michael, plays the accordion as well, and a whole host of other instruments. And growing up, we would have learned so many tunes at home in our kitchen, just like so many other families around the country. The first tune is a tune which we learned from our dad, and it's called Johnny Henry's. And we also mentioned new compositions and new tunes coming to light, and I think we're at a really exciting time where there's so much archival footage. And I think that's a whole other magic when you hear new tunes. And one of the second tune actually is a composition of the piper and broadcaster Peter Brown, and it's called The Land of Plenty.
Great. Fantastic. Thanks so much. Your pipes, we were talking about the torch being passed on. I mean, the story behind your pipes is one worth hearing.
It's particularly moving, and for many people, Liam O'Flynn was the first port to call. People would have heard the first sound of Irish traditional music, the sound of Ireland abroad for so many people. And sadly, we lost Liam O'Flynn a number of years ago. I know he was a great friend of Neil's, and we've talked about this on many times when we met over the last while. But Liam donated, when he passed away, 2 sets of pipes to Napibriel. And these are one of them that were made about 35 years ago by a lad from Vermont. And I'm just incredibly honoured to be able to play and continue playing this beautiful instrument. And every time I strap on the pipes, I really think about Liam's legacy. I think about the music he created worldwide and how he elevated the status of uilleann pipes and Irish music to new heights and new platforms worldwide. What an incredible legacy, and I just feel really honoured to have been entrusted with the care of these set by Napibriel in Dublin.
Your playing of them is extraordinary. So.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Farah Elle, great to have you with us here. It's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you
and
too.
congratulations on your wonderful music. Your album Fatima is just beautiful, stunning.
Thank you. Feels good to have it off my chest.
Yes, and so I think the first time we met was a couple of years ago, and you were working on it. I'm imagining and dreaming up what has now become this body of work. It must be exciting to have it out in the world.
Yeah, definitely. When you're working on something it was 7 years, so it just feels like, okay, I have more space now to work on more projects, and yeah. And also, I just wanted to share the songs. I didn't want to hold them hostage anymore.
So in those 7 years, I mean, lots of inspiration.
I think when you're an artist, your inspiration mostly stems from life, right? So I just had more time to experience things. So it's funny because when it came to releasing the album, I really didn't feel like the same person anymore as I was when it started, of course. And so much had happened from, just growing up. And then I released it after the pandemic as well. So it was like a different world even, releasing it out into. So yeah, felt good. It feels good.
Good.
It's still like, okay. I don't have that foreboding sense of, oh God, I really better release that album. Like, it's done now.
But the opening tracks, Silk,
Yeah.
feels like a real calling card to your music. Would that be fair to
Silk,
say?
Yeah, definitely, because Silk is sort of where it started. Silk is the first song I wrote that, for the whole album, but it was also the first time I had sang in Arabic, which is really different feeling. And when you sing in your mother tongue, to when you don't. So I think that's a really beautiful thing about traditional music as well, because you're expressing sort of your indigenous side, your voice, you're letting it come through. So it was a big change for me doing that. It sort of opened up my voice in a different way that I had never done before. And it sent me off on this trajectory then of self-expression. So it was an important song for me.
And Neil is going to join you on the cello.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Excellent.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it. Cool. بنتي الشلبي عيون السليم حبك من قلبي يا وبنتي وعيون عيننا Every now and then I'll have forgotten it, but I know it's in me. At peace is all I've ever wanted. Then it hits me and it's so hard to be. This cloak ain't all its darkness, it carries me. Oh, how it feels when it's so haunted, and it makes it hard to see what's going on beneath. When it hits me. When it hits me and makes it hard to be. And it hits me. When it hits me and makes it hard to breathe. This veil of silk, what could be wrong with it? It's nothing but serene. My eyes are how you'd recognize me, because all that matters is my identity. But what if I can't see? What if I find it hard to carry on being me? And what if this could be the only gate that welcomes every single part of me? Ooh. بنتي الشلبي take me and take away our problems, and then maybe we could head out to sea. And what if this could be a solution to removing the veil that's wearing me? And all of a sudden I see that there's an ocean in the desert and it's waiting for me. Ooh, then it hits me and it, ooh, then it hits me. Ooh, then it hits me and it, binti shalabi, ayuna salim. When it hits me, when it hits me and makes it hard to breathe, and it hits me. When it hits me and makes it hard to breathe, and it hits me. When it hits me and makes it hard to breathe, and it hits me. When it hits me and makes it hard to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a transporting piece of music. And what a gorgeous combination as well.
It's beautiful.
Really beautiful.
Thanks.
Farah, I have to ask, you know, the Arabic lyrics, what is it?
What does it mean?
What does it mean? Yeah.
So it's an ode to, actually, that Binti Shalabiya is a song by Fayrouz, who's a Lebanese artist. And Binti Shalabiya just means my girl Shalabiya, so like my girl of O'Reilly, like a family name.
Yeah. The inflections as well, just in the, you know, the inflections, the bends in the notes are fascinating as well
Yeah,
to me.
they're very similar to Sean
They are. That's what it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a trade line. There was a trade line between North Africa and Ireland ages ago. So I think a lot of the melodies got mixed up. And then there's some words in Arabic that match. Like Isa is Jesus in Irish, and then Isa is Jesus in Arabic. That's just one, but there's more. But I think the melodies also overlapped. The singing style, like I don't know. Definitely to do with that trade line. There's also a lot of mythology to do with Ireland and North Africa, which is kind of fascinating.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you both
Thanks for
that.
listening.
Neil, you're a man of many tales. What's the Raven Banner? Talk to me about the Raven Banner.
Well, I wrote this tune about 9 years ago, or some coming up in that, and I wrote it to mark the millennium of the Battle of Clontarf. And in my research and reading around it, I discovered that the Battle of Clontarf made it into Norse lore way back, 800 years ago. And one of the stories associated with this great battle in Ireland was that the man at the front of the marching army had a banner on which there was a raven. And anybody who was behind that banner would come out of battle okay. But if you were in front of that, if you went in front of that banner, you would die in battle. So I kind of liked the story of that, and I wrote the tune. And the only person I taught that tune to was my daughter, Molly. And about a year after I wrote that tune, Molly went off on a school trip to Malawi. And our Molly brought out 24 tin whistles and taught the kids various little tunes. And then I got an email, Dad, I've just played the Raven Banner for the president of Malawi and an audience of 3,000 people. Wow. And that was its first public outing. So it's kind of bizarre when you write a little bit of music that connects here and, the Norse countries and Africa, that, the world is a small place and music travels. Music sees no frontiers and sees no borders. It it works its way.
What a great story.
That's how
what
it
a
came
great
about.
story. Great. Will you
Play it?
do it for you?
Yeah, with it.
great, great. The Raven Banner, what a tune. What a tune.
Thank you.
Michelle, it's great to have you here this evening as well. How's your Tradfest going?
It's a great experience to be part of. See,
And what are you going to play for us now?
so we're going to play one of the beautiful airs and one of the beautiful Seamus songs called Colleen na Gruaigh Dine. And it's just, there's something so magical about the human voice and particularly, I suppose, the versions of songs that we hear in the Gaeltacht regions. And this particular song, I suppose, it's a very important to us because we're honouring the wonderful Mick Maloney, who is a dear friend of ours, and also the great Seamus Begley. So, and also we're going to honour Liam O'Flynn because he recorded the most beautiful version of Colleen na Gruaigh Dine. So.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you. heart-stoppingly beautiful. I mean, really, the combination of, that's gorgeous. Really beautiful, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Really amazing music. What do you reckon, Stephen?
Oh, it's the most exquisite thing I've ever heard, I think.
Isn't it just?
Really?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
When we think of Seamus, you know, the big, strong man that Seamus was, and, you know, big, strong, hairy sheep man, like, he had the voice, the softest, most gentle, beautiful voice of an angel, and
He did.
yeah, he sang that song so very beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lovely you played it for him tonight. And for all of them, for Liam and for Mick as well. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Neil, you're going to, I believe, slip over to the piano and do
Well,
something quite special for us. Eh?
But,
We're going to play
we'll
some musical chairs. Farah, will you come and sit beside me here? That's beautiful, Neil.
it's a great air, great song. Fiachna Ó Braonáin.
Sean of the Glana.
Yeah,
Sean.
that laments the passing of the old Gaelic order.
Yeah.
And it's one of the strongest, most beautiful, timeless, moving pieces of music I've ever come across in my life.
Oh, you played it really beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stephen, this Saiocht material, it's powerful, powerful stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
What fuels your passion for poetry?
Oh, well, I've always loved it, you know.
Yeah.
I always liked reading it, even at school, you know. One of my approaches to poetry is what the great Beckett once offered me a piece of advice about doing his work. He said, don't think about meaning, think about rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
So that released poetry for me, in a way, and, you know, and brought it closer to music, you know. Music invites you to understand meaning, but not at the expense of the beauty of the work, you know. So I think poetry and music go together. That's what I get out of Saiocht. But I find that every time we've done it, we've only worked 3 times, more reveals itself, you know, and just to be here with Farah, see that the tradition is available to everybody, that it's not an exclusive discipline. It's something that can be improved by people coming and teaching us. You know, I find that so exciting, to be honest. It's a maturity of that I think exists now in Ireland, rather than being, you know, down home nationalists. We're embracing the world with it. I think that's right, and that's what these poems do. You know, I think, isn't that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely it is.
Yeah.
What would you like to share with us now?
Before you fall asleep with absolute boredom.
No, not at all.
I'd like to read.
But that's a good name for a poem. Let's write that one when we're done.
Okay. No.
Before you
It's-
fall asleep with
yeah.
absolute boredom, by Stephen-Rea.
No, well, I'm going to read two poems that I think sort of go into each other. One is Meain by Ciaran O'Rourke, who's a new young writer, and we go into The Given Note by somebody called Heaney.
You go back a long way with Seamus Heaney, don't you?
Yeah. So, okay, Meain. Woke early, all the island ticking like a maze. I walked to lose my way in water-lit seclusion, found, of course, the sea through which the reaching summer shimmered. I saw my feet go pink beneath the waves. And when I walked again through the very shunting heart of heat, a second cuckoo sang. And be it noted how, from listening grass and unbewildered rocks, the sky-white wind came bounding after all the day, a sprig of birdsong clutched in every fist. I breathed it in. I stepped across the beating rim. My shadow grew longer until the sun dipped. And the given note. On the most westerly blasket, in a dry stone hut, he got this air out of the night. Strange noises were heard by others who followed, bits of a tune coming in on loud weather, though nothing like melody. He blamed their fingers and ear as unpracticed, their fiddling easy, for he had gone alone into the island and brought back the whole thing. The house throbbed like his full violin. So whether he calls it spirit music or not, I don't care. He took it out of wind off mid-Atlantic. Still, he maintains, from nowhere. It comes off the bow gravely, rephrases itself into the air.
That's the first time I've ever heard Pert na Buchy played on a cello.
Ah,
That's remarkable.
Yeah, well, what another extraordinary air. And as you know, associated very much with the Inishvigalan and the Blasket Islands and the O'Dali.
Yeah, and with the given note.
Yes, yes.
The air inspired the poem.
Yes,
Seamus
yes.
heard from O'Reada the air, and he then set about writing that extraordinary poem on hearing that.
Oh, it was great. Well, thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Neil, as well, for giving that to us this evening. Farah Elle. There's an amazing tune on Fatima called Laundry, which I play time and time again on RTE radio, and I love it.
Thank you.
Is there any chance we might do it together?
Yes, let's do it. Okay. Yeah.
Can we all join in?
Yes, that would be perfect. Absolutely. This is a shout out to anyone who's ever done your laundry. All right. Home when my laundry's done. I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. Home when my laundry's done, baby, I'll be coming home. Only in your eyes does it finally feel so right. My baby calls me all the time. No, not only in the night, only in your arms. Can nothing do me any harm? 'Cause baby, only in your eyes does it finally feel so right. Home when my laundry's done. I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. Home when my laundry's done, baby, I'll be coming home. Oh, blowing in the breeze, fill my heart with ease. Okay, you ready? Home when my laundry's done. That's it. I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. Except louder. Home when my laundry's done, baby, I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. And keep going all the way. Home when my laundry's done, baby, I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. Home when my laundry's done, baby, I'll be coming home when my laundry's only in your eyes and my laundry's. Does it finally feel so right? And my baby calls me all the time and my laundry's. No, not only in the night, only in your arms and my laundry's. Can nothing give me any harm? 'Cause baby, only in your eyes and my laundry's. Does it finally feel so right? Home when my laundry's done. I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. Home when my laundry's done, baby, I'll be coming home when my laundry's done. Hey.
We might have been supposed to end on home there, but we took it all away.
Listen.
Oh, what a beautiful, amazing evening this has been. Thanks so much,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank you.
Neil, you have something to round up the evening for us,
Well,
haven't you?
we're going to play a couple of reels. Michelle, you know the names of them, I don't. What are they?
The first one is a great old reel called Lady Gordon's, and the last one then is called
The Strawberry Blossom.
The Strawberry Blossom.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Lady Gordon's and the Strawberry Blossom. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fantastic. Good Mila Mahogany for watching Tradfest, the Fingal sessions coming to you from the Great Hall in Malahide Castle with Stephen-Rea, Louise and Michelle Mulcahy, Neil Martin and Farah Elle. We'll see you soon. Slán the foil agus tóg go bugay.